the other day I got stuck in another board meeting and I couldn't attend another board meeting here. As a leader, I don't want a situation where if I'm not here, then nothing gets done. I mean, we had a board meeting the one time and she was sleeping.
She was sleeping in a board meeting?
Yes.
She was really bored. So you don't think it questions your relevancy?
No.
So you're a bad money maker.
I win.
Would you hire for attitude or would you hire for skills? How did you come into love and making deals?
I think because I love talking and I like people. I'm a social butterfly, and I've gotten to know a lot of people.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a very different episode because today we have a very different guest. She's different in all ways. This person, not only did she start studying at the University of Free State, she went all the way to go study at Wits. Now she holds a master's degree in urban and regional planning. So we're sitting down with her because she works for Abeka Investments. And it's very exciting to have this person because she does real estate private equity. So without any further ado or any explanations, let's enjoy a chat with the lovely Miss Mthembu. How are you today?
I'm good, thanks. How are you, Art?
I'm very, very, very great. Though I'm a little bit hungry. What did you have for breakfast?
I had a cheese sandwich and a coffee.
Okay, after this interview, I think I'm gonna have myself breakfast. What do you think I should get?
Get yourself a nice chicken salad.
Chicken salad. Okay, that sounds meaty and healthy. Okay, I'll go get that. Talking about meaty and healthy, did you grow up in a background or in a family where there was a lot of meat or there were people who were on the healthy side?
No, I've actually learned only to do that now. Okay. I grew up in a family where there was a lot of meat. I am Zulu and I grew up in KZN. We obviously eat a lot of meat, whether it's chicken or beef, fish. We loved that kind of stuff. But yeah, and then the healthy part, I think it's something that I've sort of gotten used to growing up to try and keep fit and healthy and maintain my weight. And you know what? A fit body is a healthy mind. So yeah, and I don't eat so much meat now. I'm a vegetarian, come pescatarian. Yes.
Oh, okay. So looking back at your background, do you think you'd be where you're at now?
Look, I mean, I have to say, growing up, I was very fortunate. I mean, I grew up in a loving family of mom and dad that were married. I have 3 sisters. It was a family unit and we loved each other. However, going to school and sort of growing up, most of my friends didn't have what I had. They were either having single moms or growing up with their grandmothers. So I have to say my family background has somewhat propelled me to be where I am. The stability, and my mom was also, and my dad, they were both teachers. My mom was still studying when we were born. I think she still did 3 degrees, and I knew like honors degree, postgraduate diploma, and there's a degree in that, and she had 4 kids already. So she played quite a significant role in my life, in my background. So yes, me in particular, but if I were to just go outside of that and look at my surrounding environment at the time, my friends at the time, the people that I lived with and grew up with in Lamontville, their circumstances were different. And I have to say, it would have been a little bit more different had I not had that particular family structure that I had.
Wow, so are you giving credit to your family structure?
I do. I always do think that most of our problems or our social issues are based on that lack of family structure. The fact that we have a lot of boys growing up without their dads, we have a lot of girls growing up without their moms. I've kind of thought that that's where the serious social or socioeconomic issues come from, because I look at me and I think I was kind of blessed to have that, and I look at others who don't, that turn out differently.
Oh, wow, that's so deep. So how do you, after looking at those circumstances, do you first know that initially on the first day and first step that you will be in real estate, in the real estate industry?
No, I didn't know. How I ended up doing town planning was when I first wanted to be a doctor, and my dad loved that. And my mom worked for a municipality of eThekwini at the time. She came across this term, town planner, town planner. She came back and she said to me, there's something called town planning, and I've just seen white men. Wouldn't you just do a bit of research on it and see what it's about and what sort of opportunities it would bring? She was also very active in politics at the time. She was a big activist. And then I started doing research and I realized, town planning could actually potentially solve the spatial economic problems that we have between Black people and how we were living in the townships and stuff like that. And we were debating it all the time with my mom, and came the time to choose courses that will eventually get me to register for town planning. I did geography, maths, and all those things that helped me to get it. Even one of my best friends in high school, I was like, my mom says there's this thing called town planning. We went and we did town planning together. And she's still in town planning, I think human settlements more. But we carried on because we just heard the term. Nobody came or told us. It was not something that was intentional, like a career guidance. Check your personality, check your IQ, your emotional, your strengths, it was nothing like that. It was literally, where we getting opportunities? Okay, there's white men there, asbangen. And that was about it.
That was the beginning.
So it was fluke, actually.
It was a fluke. So are you saying there were no challenges?
In terms of?
After you took those steps to do town planning, from there on it was easy breezy.
Look, I mean, for if I have to admit, in my undergrad, when I did my undergrad, I can't say I knew exactly what I was doing. I was just studying, learning, passing, and going through it. It was not difficult to get an internship because my mom was in the municipality. She called few favors, and me and my friend got internship. We did our internship at South Local Council in KZN South. And then after that, we finished off our diplomas at DUT. And then we went our separate ways. I think I practiced town planning for about 5, 6, 7 years when I realized that actually I like the project part of it. I've actually done the holistic block of town planning. I did land use management, where I was looking after township establishment applications or any land use change application. And then I did a little bit of local economic development, where we were looking at land and how do we use land to assist communities around the area. And I did a bit of spatial planning when I went to the city of Joburg, where I was now looking at policy, what we discussed earlier, to say what are the special disparities of the past where Black people were intentionally made to live in the outside areas, away from economic development opportunities, job opportunities, and how it actually came about for them to implement those policies. Being in City of Joburg, I was at the city looking at how do we then integrate that. I know I was responsible for Region 1, and at the time, there was no waterfall city. There was just a very open land, particularly the mayor family land was just open. It was up to us to say, guys, how do we integrate this city? How do we bring lower or middle income residential houses so that people can live, work, and play in the same area? So that's some of the stuff that I did on spatial planning. And after that, I moved to Mogale City, where I was now responsible for the whole city, where Joburg, I was responsible for a particular region. Mogale City, I did the whole of spatial planning. I put policies in place for the whole city, for different areas, the Multistrift area, the inner city, CBD area. And then after that, I realized that, okay, policies are here, what now? How do we then implement some of all these beautiful ideas that we've come up with? I then went to National Treasury to apply for what is called Neighborhood Development Partnership Grants funding, and we raised about 300 million to now put those policies to action. And I think that's where I found my niche. So where there was action, where we were actually building walkways, putting in money to rebuild the CBD, to build a taxi rank because the taxis are parking here, to set aside some place for the informal traders to have some sort of secure space to protect them from the rain and the sun and stuff like that. So that was really fun. And from there, when I looked at my past, I was like, okay, I've done local economic development, I've done land use planning, I've done spatial planning, I've done all these things in town planning. What haven't I done? And I was like, I haven't done property. And that's when I went to Wits Business School. I did my postgraduate diploma in management. And I was like, okay, but I need to explore what the property world is about. And that's when I then joined where I am now. Started as a general manager for the Epcon Group Foundation, where we were looking at beneficiaries from previously disadvantaged areas and building infrastructure for them, raising the fund. So kind of similar to what I did, raising funding and then building. So this is what I did. Thoroughly enjoyed it, but I was like, okay, how do we make this now sustainable? And that was the birth of Apeka Investments, where which was meant to be a profit-making business that grows so that it creates annuity income for the foundation over time. How do you raise money? Raise money from the partners, donations here and there, but no. Let's make our own money. Let's put in our own efforts and grow this business so that eventually it benefits these kids that we're taking care of in the previously disadvantaged areas, who otherwise, I mean, if I look at the project that we've done in the past 4 or 5 years with other partners, I've put in infrastructure to the value of at least 8 million in the past 4 years, where the kids were literally studying underneath a tree. We've put in classrooms in a form of containers, insulated, lights, desks, and all that stuff. So that's some of the stuff that I've done or I do.
Wow, that's so cool, man. And then are you saying you founded Apeka?
It was kind of a company that was there, but it wasn't active. But that was the idea. So yeah, you can say I founded it.
So let's just say you activated it.
I activated it. Yes, that's the perfect word.
Then that's how you became managing director of the organization. Were you the one doing recruiting of the other members?
Yes.
How did you pick them?
Oh gosh, that is like, I swear that's the most difficult thing
Because you picked good people.
ever. That is the most difficult thing ever as someone who has a vision, to try and get someone that has a vision that is similar to yours. So it's been touch and go as far as Apega and the foundation is concerned. It's been, I've had really great people, and I've had people that have just not worked, or have just not fit the culture, or have just not been, have not shared the same vision. So the answer to that is, there's no formula in picking people. It's also a fluke. You just try, you get a recruitment agency, you give them a brief, and it's literally only up to when they've started that you realize that, okay, no, this is not going to work, or this is going to work. Literally. So what we do in this group is, when we get people on board, we give them a 6 months fixed term contract. And surely by 6 months, this is your thing or it's not your thing. So yeah, so it's been fluke. I've moved from having, between foundation and Apega, 15 people, to COVID hit 4 people, to yeah. So it's touch and go, always.
Oh. What's the worst that has ever happened concerning recruiting people?
I recruited a lady that I saw on day 3 that she's not the right fit. And when I told some of my colleagues that I work with, I was like, I don't think this is the right fit. Londi, it's only been 3 days, come on. And I said, when I know, this is no, give her a bit of time. I was like, okay, cool. Give her a bit of time. 3 weeks, I was like, it's not working. No, really? I was like, No, but I mean, it's been only 3 weeks. I was like, no. Then we'll put strict performance, or let me help you. Maybe you still, your head is spinning. Let me help you every other day. Let me see. Can we get here? And then I realized that no, it's not getting there. And we then decided to amicably part ways.
How did that happen?
I win. No, man, I mean, if you've done everything that you need to do to make sure that you're doing your coaching, you're reiterating your expectations, you're making sure that they are aware, and you're keeping your notes, and you're like, okay, see, this is the second meeting. I said I want 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is the third meeting. I need 1, 2, 3, and 4, and it's not happening. Then eventually, she was like, I don't think I can do this, and she resigned.
Wow. What was the major issue?
I don't know. I think not sharing the same vision. Yeah, not sharing the vision, not being passionate. I mean, we had a board meeting the one time and she was sleeping. Yes.
She was sleeping in a board meeting.
Yes.
She was really bored.
So yeah, you see, so you see passion when you look at someone's eyes. Yeah. You see passion when you hear it when someone speaks.
Okay, so if you had a choice to choose now, would you hire for attitude or would you hire for skills?
Attitude, absolutely.
Why?
Because even if you don't have the skills, you're teachable. But with a good attitude, I know that look, in the space I found myself in, it wasn't space that I was very afraid with. It wasn't space that I went to school and studied. We all just figuring things out. It's just almost like life. But if your attitude is to make the best of it, to try your best, to learn, to grow, then absolutely. Skills, I don't know. It's skills with a bad attitude. The best is skills with a great attitude. Then that's the best. But sometimes you do have to choose. And for me, attitude is number one.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. And especially now with the talks of the AI and technology improving at a faster and predictable rate, do you think there's space for human beings in this world, or do you think you're going to go the AI route also?
I think there's space for human beings. It's all about being intentional about it. What you want. I know as a private equity investment company, we also invested in filling stations. Our filling stations in this country, the Department of Labor makes sure that we don't go AI. As an example, if you go to a filling station in the US or Europe, I know I've once driven and I parked and I looked around for a petrol attendant. Hey, who's going to help me here? No, you help yourself. You put in money, you take out the thingy and you pour fuel in your car. But because we, of the type of country that we are, from an economic development point of view, we're a developing country, we have a lot of unemployment, we are compelled to appoint people. So per filling station, as an example, we have 52 employees. And it's not because that work can't be done by AI. It can, but the intention is that we keep trying to make sure that young people are employed. So it's being intentional about what it is that you want to achieve as a country, as a business, as an industry, that will determine whether you want to go the AI route or not. But as far as what I believe AI can do, absolutely, that it can do wonders. I look at big distribution centers. If you put in robots there, how quickly and efficient these things can pack and distribute and deliver. And then what must happen to the people? Do we have space for it? Absolutely, but maybe not now. There's still a lot of groundwork that we need to do.
Okay, the people will get free stuff. That's what's going to happen to them. Because things are going to be cheaper. In fact, there won't be any overheads. That's where it's going.
Yes, oh no, absolutely. But then if there are no overheads and things are cheaper, who is going to buy cheap things if they don't have money to buy cheap things?
It's the golden age. These cheap things are high quality.
Guys,
They cheap because there's no overhead.
let's start where every other country started. Let's just get our basics in place. Let's get our people skilled. Let's get the right education. Let's get the socioeconomic problems out of the way. We're a unique country, very resilient economy. We're a very young country. If we had ways to get the young people to develop this AI, to develop these robots like Silicon Valley, if we can do that, then that's a completely different story. But the problem is we're just gonna import the stuff anyway, and we're going to be out of touch. The young people are going to be out of touch with whatever it is that is going on in this country. And that's where the problem is. Let's bridge the gap first and get the young people economically active.
You're speaking like a true leader. With that being said, what's the most challenging thing about you being a leader?
Making sure that you continuously empower people, making sure that you don't run a mile and leave your people behind without understanding your vision and where you want to go. So it's important that everyone is always at least in the same wavelength as far as where the business is going is concerned. Yeah, because as a leader, I don't want a situation where if I'm not here, then nothing gets done. It's a situation where in the other day, I got stuck in another board meeting and I couldn't attend another board meeting here. And everyone was like, should we cancel it? I was like, no, I'm not there. Continue. And it continued and it was a successful board meeting. But then the chair of the board was like, Londi, it's actually a vote of confidence to you that your people can actually attend a board meeting without you, which is successful.
Ooh. Whoa, that's scary. How do you feel about that?
I love it. There's nothing scary about it. It just means I've empowered. I've got the right people that it frees me time to go and chase other things, other big things, and bring them back to the team and move.
So you don't think it questions your relevancy?
No, that's the problem. That is exactly where leaders then get it wrong. The more people are empowered to be able to do what you do, the more time you have in your hands to actually go chase and grow the business. Me, I always tell them, I belong in the streets, getting deals, making sure that I get deals over the line, have coffee, network, talk. I'm just a talker. When it comes to working, I must have a team that will do that for me. I must have a team that says, okay, cool, here's a deal. How do you structure it? This is how you're going to structure it. We're going to have a holding company here. We're going to have this here. We're going to have this. Cool, let's do it. So that's me. Like I think I'm a deal maker.
How did you come into love and making deals?
I think because I love talking and I like people. I'm a social butterfly, and I've gotten to know a lot of people. So I know a lot of people. So whenever I'm talking business, I'm talking what I'm doing, I'm talking where I'm going, someone always then picks up the phone to say, Londi, there's this deal. Can we have coffee and let's discuss it? So that's how it comes about. And I think the industry that we play in is very big on that. Like we've got SAPOA, the South African Property Owners Association, where we have conventions. I'm always there. Between working, networking, partying, drinking, we make deals. The SIBIB, the South African Institute of Black Property Practitioners, conventions, between talking, networking, drinking, partying, we're talking deals, we're talking how do we include Black people in this industry, how do we grow each other, how do we support each other, how do we, what are our challenges? So that's the type of stuff that I like.
Oh, wow. How did you become, okay, that's how you became a good deal maker, because you're a social butterfly.
Yes,
So
I
what
think
wanna
so.
know is, what was the best deal that you made?
For now, I think the best fun deal that I've made was the one where we were able to buy into 5 big filling stations in Gauteng, where the oil company was involved, and the first deal was the percentages were not, they didn't like the percentages because they wanted a transformation partner. Went back to the drawing board and we're like, okay, cool, how about this? And it was like, okay, no, guys, we want something else. And then I came back and I decided to see who the decision maker is. There was a meeting and I went to them. I was like, listen, what do you want exactly? And they're like, this is what I want. I want a Black female who's going to have such and such percentage, and I want this. I was like, cool. Went back to the drawing board. I did it exactly as she did it, as she wanted it, and she approved it. And then she left the company. Someone else came in. I was like, no, I don't like this deal. I was like, what noise? After having worked on this deal for so long. And she's like, yeah, I'm in charge now and I don't like it. Kind of had to start from scratch. I got the guy to get to know me, to get to understand where I'm going, where I'm coming from, what I'm trying to do. And eventually he was like, okay, cool. And then he approved the deal and we got the deal. Nice deal, 5 years, good dividends, nice and decent cash flow for the business, the vendor financing in place, and another interest-free loan. I think we're 2 years left to finish the loan, and then it's just going to be free cash flow, and that's nice.
Oh, wow.
So that I actually started from the beginning till the end. If anything, there's also a bit of a story to it. I was at Papachino's with my friends, and a friend of mine was like, guys, there's opportunities for females in all companies. And I was like, what? Yeah, if you want to get involved, you guys need to go for training and an exam. But training is 15,000, and then you do exam. I was like, okay, cool. I'm not gonna pay 15,000 out of my own pockets. And I came here, was around a private equity investment company, literally buy anything that makes sense. And I said, guys, I want to go to this training. It's 15K. They're like, to do what? It's an oil thing. Yes. No, you're not going to be. Why do you need training? You're not going to be in a filling station fueling. You're an investor. I was like, yeah, but maybe let me get training so that I understand it. And then if I have to cut a long story short, I was like, no. And then I took my own money and then I went for training. And then I did the training and I did the exam and I passed the exam. And then I became one of the people in a pool who were identified as people who know the industry, who've been trained on the industry. So when the opportunity came, literally probably 2 weeks later, say, we're looking for a PE partner. Someone was like, I know someone. She actually has she done the training? Yes. Has she been approved by? Yes. And then that's how the deal started. So opportunity met preparedness. And then so it's not necessarily in terms of monetary value, the biggest deal that I've ever made, but it is one of those deals which I like to talk about because it was a deal where I could not take no for an answer on anything, whether it was wanting money to go for training or it was change of management, which is completely out of my hands. I just could not take no for an answer. And I suppose that says a lot about the type of person that I am as far as deal making is concerned.
Then what's the worst deal you've ever made?
I don't know worst deals.
Okay, what's the worst that happened during a deal then?
Sure. There's this property that we bought, again, from a social and entrepreneurship point of view, gave it to some other NPO to lease it free of charge. I literally loved what they were doing. They're looking after disabled people from Deep Sweat. And they're making off a container. And I was like, guys, I actually have property that I can move you to. What I liked about what they're doing is they were taking the disabled kids out of the township to look at like a creche for disabled kids, but not just kids, also 15-year-olds, 18-year-olds, 21-year-olds, adults as well. And you can imagine a disabled girl probably teen on the streets in District during the day. She could be a victim of all sorts of things, right? So I kind of I just liked the concept, and I said they can go and be on the land for free. So it's bleeding money, the rate, the taxes, the security, the maintenance, the it's just bleeding money, and it's a struggle between the social entrepreneurship part of mine and the entrepreneurship part. I've toyed around with the idea of selling the property, but I can't allow myself to sell it or to develop it and keep those guys out. So yeah.
So you're a bad money maker.
No, it depends. It depends. It's what it is. It's the cause that I'm supporting, and if I can afford it for now, then let's crack on. Look at you.
So okay, you've made deals that make money, and you've made deals that made social differences and uplifted people's lives. How's your life?
My life is good. I must say, I'm blessed. I've got a loving husband. I've got a beautiful daughter. I have a nice house. I drive a nice car. I have friends that are very progressive. Um, so I've got quite a nice balance as far as my life is concerned. Social life, uh, family life, um, and business life. Because I also love what I do. I love my work. I love the space that I operate in. So I'm in a very good space. Quite honestly, still have my mom, who's my anchor. Um, so she's still very active. She's still very intelligent, and she's still literally my go-to person for absolutely anything that I need advice on.
You're lucky you have an advisor who has 3 degrees.
Listen,
Oh my God.
listen. She is getting a bit older, but she really is my anchor. Yeah.
Wow. And then what challenges, because the reason I'm asking what challenges you, né, is because it sounds like you have a proper foundation set up. So then it leads me to ask you, what challenges you about real estate private equity now?
What challenges are there? Oh, there's lots of challenges. Like being a black female in real estate, in private equity, in deals, in just buying anything that you want to create your own wealth. First of all, me as a person, there's a lot of black tax that we go through. So in property, as you know, it's a long term game. You don't you don't make money and are able to look after your parents and your siblings and whatever it is that you need to do now. You need to understand and have that frame of mind that this is generational wealth for your kids. And and there's always a challenge when they see you doing well with whatever it is that you have now and think that um, you should be doing more for home. Um, and you know, if I finish paying for this property in 15 years time, I will do so much. But um, your mom at that time is 75 years old. Can she really wait for you to get that far so that you're able to spoil her and give her the things that she never really had, and your family and everything else? So that's one. That's the challenge of black tax, the immediate need to provide for your family, your cousins, your kids, your sister's kids, your everyone who looks at you like you're successful. She's in property, she must, you know. So that's the one. Secondly, barriers to market. As black people, it's very difficult to get access to banks, to funding. It's difficult to get access to funding when you have a big hundred and millions of rand project that you'd like the bank to take a view on you and support. Immediately, if it's 100 million, the bank will only give you 70 million. If you're lucky, maybe 60. So that means you need to have 40 million in your back pocket. What are the chances that you have that now? Because we're not trust fund based. My mom got educated, um, but she was never she never had opportunities that made her make so much money that she was able to put trust funds for us. If that was the case, because of course at the time that she was growing up, it was apartheid times. There was only so much that um, our parents could do, and which means that we're starting from scratch, which means that we are not on par with our peers when it comes to moving forward. So that's a big challenge. Challenge of access to funding, challenge of cash. That's just a black people thing. Then there's a female thing where men, your own counterparts, which are black, will not necessarily at first glance take you seriously because you're female. Yes. Remember, my age group and your age group are probably not the same. So, in my age group, the men that are older, as far as women are concerned, they've got a particular view and they've got their own view as to what women can and what women can't do. So breaking those barriers as a female in the industry is even worse. So first, you black, then you female. I call it double disability.
You forgot the money, the funding.
And then
The money.
the fund. But remember, even the funding aspect starts simply because you're black and female. And because you're black and female, you don't have trust funds. And that so this is a ripple effect to everything.
So basically, with what you're telling me, you remind me of a situation that we were talking about with my team yesterday. So they relate to me that the best clients to work with is black females. Literally, black females are number one. Think about all the races, the sexes, they come underneath. Black females are at the apex, right? So now it's shocking when you tell me that some people put black females away. I'm not saying this because you're a black female. I'm telling you facts on facts.
No. I believe your facts. We just have to work triple as hard as other people to get to where we want to go. And that's why I'm so passionate about empowerment and transformation.
Okay.
Because I want black ladies, young ladies, to know that they can be so much, they can do so much more.
But don't you think that's currently going on, or do you think it's low or it's not enough, or how do you feel? Because I feel like I see black females coming in, especially in asset management.
It is, but it's still very niche. In the bigger scale of things, black females aspire to be slave queens in high school. Because of all the social networks and how the slave queens are living, everybody wants to, a lot of them want to get a rich boyfriend, a rich husband, a rich whatever. And I see this in the younger generation, and it worries me. It worries me a lot because Tina, I think we're the generation where all the opportunities actually came for, um, where we realized that I don't have to have a rich husband. I can be rich myself and actually have a very healthy marriage. But the other ones, I feel like they're giving up already. Um, and that's why in asset management, in property, in the funds, in private equity, where there's black females and where there's particularly black females at the helm, it is perhaps very few, and it's my generation, and we have a lot of work cut out for us to educate and empower and make those young ladies understand that they can and do anything that they want to do, that they put their minds to.
Oh wow, that's so deep, man. And then, how would you sell off private equity to these ladies? How would you show? What would you say in order to make it attractive, more attractive than being a slave queen?
It when I say I'm passionate about empowerment, or it would not necessarily. I think the first step or the basis would be to just try and find your passion and be self-sustainable. That's the one. And if someone says, okay, but I like what you're doing, I want to be in the private equity investment business, and then I say, yeah, then you need to be able to analyze businesses. You don't work alone. You work with a team of experts that look at a whole lot of different things. Is debt? Is it worth it? Returns. What are you giving to your shareholders? You work with shareholders as well, whether it's private or family offices and stuff like that. So valuers, that people that value businesses. So in essence, I'd be like, you need to be very dynamic and very wide in terms of thinking. You need to understand what your passion is, and go for it. From a private equity point of view, particularly Abega Investments, we're very agnostic in terms of our investment. It is, yes, there's a lot of property because we are in a property related group, but from buying mushrooms, if the company is actually doing well and we have enough money and appetite to do that, we'll do that. So if you love money, love making money, love doing deals, making deals, then come to private equity.
Nice. And then, what would your normal daily routine look like?
Sure, not all days are the same, but so we try to grow the filling station portfolio quite aggressively. So I have, in certain days, I've told you that, okay, I'll be in Bryanston, or I'm not in Bryanston these days. So sometimes I'm at the companies that we've invested in, making sure that everything is being done properly. But most of all, getting to understand the business, the model, how it operates, and how it makes money. So that in the future, if someone is saying, no, I can't pay your dividends because of 1, 2, and 3, I can call them on their bullshit. Say, no, this is not how it works. So typically it goes from being hectically involved in the business, as in on a day, to exco meetings with the stakeholders and the guys that are the people that I work with, to board meetings and actually reporting to shareholders. This is what we're doing. I was late for this interview because I was in a cash flow meeting looking at the cash flow, and there's a whole lot of moving parts and things that affect us. we're being affected by interest rates at the moment, where we're paying loans, where we're paying back loans. So in certain instances, I'm like, these dividends we can't be out of pocket. Let's talk about this and make sure that the dividends we can afford to push this particular side of the business. So it's from finance, it's from rolling up my sleeves and working, to board, to networking, to boardroom, to drinking, but still making sure that we want to. Literally today at 3, we're going to a Shisanyama because we're looking at a Shisanyama concept that we want to buy into. Do you understand? So we've got a 3 o'clock appointment. Let's go to a Shisanyama. I want to show you, bringing some white guys that are partners. I want to show you how this concept could actually work with what it is that you're doing. So it's a wide range of stuff that I do. To the meetings and talking about deals and talking to people. I talk to politicians. Unlock this for me. There's a blockage here. Everything.
Wow, that's very amazing. Now that's how you sell private equity. I feel like you sold it very well that way. And then in closing,
I think you like private equity. And it's easy to sell it to someone who likes it.
I love private equity, VCs and funds. I love them a lot. But in closing, we have a tradition on the show where you only have 1 minute to give piece of practical, tangible, implementable advice to the viewers that they can do right now. What piece of advice would you give that can improve people's lives or make them get ahead in business?
I think it's very important to understand who you are and not shortchange your capabilities. Um, Make sure that you know what you're capable of, and go after it, and never take no for an answer. If there's room to improve your strategy, if there's room to improve your financial model, you go back and you do that. But chase your dreams no matter what. Don't let any challenges or hindrances actually stop you from getting your bank. Get that bank.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go get that bank. You heard it from Londiwe, Mthembu. Thank you a lot. Enjoy the rest of your day. Londiwe, well done.
Thank you so
You
much.
are a star. Oh man, oh man.